the name of Allah, the most compassionate and the most merciful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development in its second edition, under the theme Engineering for a Healthy Planet. I am Muhammad Hamdan, third level student of Petroleum Engineering and office member of the SBE Sudan section. Please let me welcome our beloved attendees whom are willing to watch our upcoming webinar with a special ovation given to Engineer Sameh Wahyuddin. He is here with us, the chairperson of SBE Sudan section. Thank you so much indeed for sponsoring the WEG this year, Engineer. All right, everyone, allow me to introduce to you the person whom is going to educate us about the impact of climate change on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Cameroonian engineer, Mr. Nyong Clement Bantar. Mr. Clement is a trainer at Antil Quality, Health, Safety and Environment, QHSE, a consultant at Cameroon Safety Service, and also a junior data engineer. Mr. Clement has done 31 projects in 10 countries with 17 clients in oil and gas drilling, industry, LNG, manufacturing, and marketing agency. He is also a Quality, Health, Safety, and Environment National Annual Forum. He has done over 100 trainings and speakings. He is a certified disaster risk and humanitarian manager, a lead implementer certified by ISO, a professional evaluation and certification board, PECB, certified trainer, as well as a certified safety executive at the World Safety Organization. Mr. Clement is also a World Safety Organization affiliate member and national director at WSO, Cameroon. He is also a member of Health, Safety and Environment, HSE, Europe. Mr. Clement has been awarded the following certificates: Safir Ambassador by WSO Nigeria, Leadership Award in Environment and Sustainable Development. He has also got a safety recognition by WSO World Management Center. Mr. Clement has got over 10 years of experience in the oil and gas industry. Mr. Nyong Clement Bantar will give us a lecture on the impact of climate change on the planet, in which he will cover the following agendas. Number one, an overview of climate change, its definitions and causes. Number two, the impact of climate change on the planet, in particular, case of global warming. Number three, and how to reverse global warming at different levels of the society. Dear attendees, feel free to write your comments and prepare your questions while Mr. Clement is lecturing us about the impact of the impact of climate change on our planet in the chat rooms, of course. And Mr. Clement, you are welcome again. The microphone is yours. You can start now.
Thank you very much, Mohammed, and welcome to all the engineers. A lot of engineers worldwide, they are doing a lot of things to make sure that the world continues to move. And in this recent year, the world has been facing great challenges in terms of climate change. It has a direct impact and indirect impact to the society, and it is for all the engineers worldwide to think and to bring in innovative technologies that are environmentally friendly. So I think by the end of this day, because what happens usually on occasions like this is that people will gather and discuss, talk, but again, after the meeting, nothing is done. So what I would advise the other engineers is that at the end of this seminar or just this day, each and everyone should think of how his idea or this technological idea can help to reverse the global warming. So basically, this 1 hour presentation will just give a brief picture of what the current climate is, and then so that we can have an overview, of uh, what are the things that we can bring in terms of technology to solve the current situation. So, Mohammed, can you hear me? Just to be sure.
Yes, I'm hearing you, Clement.
Okay, and can you see my screen, right?
Yes, I can see it. Impact of climate change on the planet, pace of global
Okay,
warming.
perfect, perfect,
I'm sure everyone is able to see it. Continue,
perfect.
please.
Thank you. Okay, so I want to present myself again. You did an extraordinary presentations. Um, Actually, as the lead trainer at Cameroon Safety Services, with the COVID, we're much more focused on distance learning using the Zoom application. Again, this is an application that has been very innovative in terms COVID-19 because it has reduced the spread of the virus. People do training program virtually, like this seminar we're having right now. So we have been able to use this platform to reach people with the message that we have. So in terms of using this platform developed, because we at our own level, we think that it's only education that can enable people to have ideas, to think of innovative way of doing things that can proper cause more concern on environment. So the virtual training programs that we have been able to share and that we have as plan is to be able to train 10,000 organizations to operate in an environmentally friendly way according to the ISO 14001 standard. This program can also be good for you. We do it at a distance deep into what we will be just you like Mohammed said, climate change overview, and then we see some definitions, some causes, and then we will go to see also the impact that this is having on our planet. And climate change is, it's an average weather change over a long period of time, and global warming is just part of this climate change, and this is what has the most impact on our community, and that is what we are focused on global warming. So how to reverse global warming at a different level of the society is also important, because a lot of this is an issue of multinational companies, or this is an issue of an NGO, or it is an issue of the government. No, this is a problem that concerns the entire world, and everybody at its own level has a role to play. Then we will have a conclusion later on. So so what is this climate change? I guess some of you, there are a lot of definitions, but everything is in common. We have, it is, climate is the average weather condition of an area or a region or period, over a period. And usually it is observed over several years. So which means that over a certain year, maybe 10 years, 15 years, 50 years, 100 years, we are able to evaluate the average weather of that region or that uh, particular area for that period, and we can be able to determine what has been the weather change, and the average of it is going to give us the climate. So this is basically either as precipitation, the average precipitation in an area over 10 years, over 100 years, or the average increase or decrease in temperature in an area or a region over that same 10, 100 years. And because of natural and especially human activities over the years, there have been a progressive change in the climate, and that is what has now led us to the most talked issue, which is observed in international conferences as climate change. And this has affected a lot precipitation, temperatures, and many other uh, aspect of our atmosphere, the environment, the water, and all the like. So it's important that we know that. And the small things that we're doing every day is accumulating, and over a long period of time, it will modify the weather, and this can affect us in many ways, and which we are going to see. And there is a need as well for engineers that you and I are, to think of ways and solutions that we can bring by developing very environmentally friendly technologies. So over the years, again, people, you will realize that, I don't know how it is in Sudan, but you will realize that there has been a high temperatures have increased. It looks like places are much more hotter, and children again wearing a lot of glasses, lenses. There are high disaster occurring like tsunami, bushfires, and there is also respiratory diseases like Professor Ian Matthews and al. Discussed in 2005. There are also cases of flooding in various parts of the world. There are heat waves, drought, and we can name so many of these. These are the consequences of the things that climate change has brought to us, and consequently, we are facing it, and it is due to the anthropogenic activities of human. Now, how is this impacting the planet? Like I just said in the previous slide, climate change is the increase in global warming. And this is mostly due to human activity since the industrial revolution. The exploration and drilling of fossil fuel, the world temperature to now above 1.1 degree Celsius. This information is gotten from the World Meteorological Observatory. That just before the Industrial Revolution, the temperatures were, though there are no big evidence about this, but since the Industrial Revolution, there have been an increase in the global temperature by 1.1 degrees Celsius. And all what is happening to us now, that is increasing temperature, which with the last conference, COP in Paris, which we're talking about how to bring down, to keep the temperature, global temperature below 1.5 degrees Celsius. As you know, if we go beyond this 1.5 degrees Celsius, it's going to be creating ice that are in the pole. They will melt, increase sea level, and this is going to create floods in other coastal areas, and we know the consequences. And with the virus, with the global pandemic going on, the economic activity has reduced, and if people are hit again by things like flood, it will become a major disaster, and it will be difficult to manage. Uh, so how does this global warming came across? Usually, the origin of global warming is as a result of, we have a greenhouse gas in the atmosphere, which creates a kind of blanket preventing heat from the surface of the earth, to radiate back to atmosphere. So pollutants that we produce from industries, from factories burning fossil fuels, and on environmentally friendly activities like burning of wood. So this is emitting this gas, and this gas has created what? It has created a kind of a blanket. It has created a kind of a blanket, and it is hindering the heat that is radiated from the Earth's surface to the atmosphere. So this gas is being trapped closer to the surface of the Earth, and of course, with time, it has led to a progressive increase in temperature. So gases such as CO2, methane, coming from exhaust of vehicles and animals, you know, these are the gas that have created this blanket, and that, as you can see in the image, on that the temperature closer to the surface of the Earth has been increasing uh, along the line. So the major causes of the global warming is air pollutants, and these air pollutants are attributed to the activities that we do. Before forest is has a very important role to play because it absorbs some of the CO2, which is one of the greenhouse gases, one of the major, as you can see, 76% of the greenhouse gas is CO2. So the forest plays an important role by absorbing this carbon dioxide and storing it. And because of anthropogenic activities, countries are developing and people are clearing land for agricultural purpose, for logging, and they are not replanting these trees. And this is creating a vacant. So the carbon dioxide that was supposed to be absorbed by this forest is emitted to the atmosphere, more blanket, and again more heat being retained at the surface of the Earth because the heat from the sun cannot be radiated to the atmosphere. So all of these continue to heat our atmosphere, and then we are at the world, the meteorological observation center is monitoring, and as per the report, like we saw on the last slide, that because of those activities, the temperature is now 1.1 degree Celsius ahead, which means that if nothing is being done, we are going to reach a level of temperature increase where humans will be at high risks of danger. So activities, agriculture, heavy industrial machinery, combustion, construction, mining and agriculture, warfare, all these are contributing to emitting uh, greenhouse gases, and again increasing our temperatures on the surface of the Earth. So the greenhouse gas, its effect is not only increasing the temperature, there are side effects, because as the temperature increases, it leads to other phenomenon which we are going to see a little bit ahead. So the greenhouse gas effect, this occurs when gases, uh, uh, are stored as a layer just above the atmosphere due to man's action, and because of this, the light from the infrared rays from the space cannot be radiated to the atmosphere, and so it stays on the Earth's surface. And because of that, we are having this continuous temperature increase. So you will see that the main causes of these gases accumulating, if we are looking as engineers on how to reduce the emission of these gases, we have natural emissions from volcanic eruptions. We have airplanes, though it has been technology has evolved, so they are now producing electric cars that, instead of emitting CO2, they're using energy to move. I saw in a recent documentary where a city, I think it's in Ireland, is utilizing the heat stored on roads to to re-energize cars. So these are some of the solutions which some smart people are thinking of. And also factories emit these greenhouse gases. So another form of reducing this is introducing technologies that can instead of emitting the CO2 or whatsoever gas that is going straight to the atmosphere, this can be converted into reusable materials and having a clean atmosphere and so on. And then we have deforestation, because countries are cutting down trees. It's either for exportation, like the case of African communities, or where they are using these trees to produce papers, furnitures in homes and other like. So instead of doing that, maybe for each tree that they cut, they can replant it, or we can deviate the economy on forest exploitation to other aspects. Eh, and nuclear emissions, they also play a role in emitting, though the quantity is not as much, because it's also believed that nuclear it's a clean energy, but again there are a lot of effects in terms of radiation. There are cigarettes leaking gas pipelines, no gas from pipelines leaking, and in some communities, especially in developing countries, they are still using wood for cooking, and this again emits the gases. So if there are technologies that we can think of around these areas, proposing instead of using wood for cooking, now there is a biogas that people are using in homes. So we as a community or civilians, we can also look at how we can adopt, instead of using wood for cooking in places, or sensitizing people on other options, and or developing new equipment or technologies that will not be relying on forest products for energy. So these are the agents which are causing the global warming, because they are, as they are emitted in the atmosphere, they create that blanket which I talked about, the green gas house, the greenhouse gas. So, and this increase in temperature melts ice which are stored in the pole, and the melted ice will create uh, an increase in the rise in the sea level at coastal areas, and will create flooding, and this can lead to what we see sometimes when you see in news, where a whole city is inundated and they will need to reconstruct, loss of properties, and etc. We also have cases of bushfires. So we are going to see that. So how is this global warming affecting us? Recently, I think it was 2 years ago, in European countries, where the heat wave had a major impact, as places were abnormally very hot, and these can create diseases, like skin cancer, bushfires, and agricultural lands getting dried off, and reducing the rate at which food production could have been done. So these are impacts that they can uh, greatly, they can make the world to be unlivable. And the essence of talking about global warming is for all of us to see the impact that this has or will have to some of us. Not everybody in the society is aware about what this can cause. So by us sensitizing people on how they can better do things or how they can better live, it can influence the way they are living and contribute in reducing global warming. Uh, we have floods. Okay, these are also some of the effects of global warming. Like I said, you will have, because of increase in temperature, the ices are going to melt and create floods. People would die. Uh, Food crops will be inundated, and it will take a longer time for those people, the community that are affected, to get relief. And because of that, we think that it is a need for us to be part of it, to look at solutions, our community, in our towns, in our cities, in our countries, and be bold enough. The effect of global warming or the result of global warming is just a result of our negligence to cater for our environment. The air we breathe is meant to be as fresh as possible, but again, countries import cars that are very old and they are emitting toxic gas to the atmosphere, which is not only good to our health, but it's also contributing to raising global temperatures. Another effect of global warming is drought, excessive temperatures and small rainfall. The little crops that people grow will get dry off, and then no harvest, and then you see animals dying because of no precipitation, no grass to feed on, and rivers are drying up. So if for a community, just imagine a community where uh, uh, there is little or no crop, and the little crop that they have, they manage to grow, and then just to realize that it can no longer grow because of no precipitation, and there is no water to irrigate and water this crop, and then we end up having situations where there is no food, and we start depending on other societies, which they also have their own problems because it is a global thing. But each community is being affected in a different way. Each community has its own way that global warming affects them. So these are cases where we could think of better ways, engineering solutions to remedy or to stop situations like this. A system where they are using in period of in period like this, they create a system that is storing enough water, and that this water is used and treated and then reused again. So it creates a closed circuit and there is continual availability of water. But this is not a lasting solution. The lasting solution is to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. So by to do that, it's to know think of solutions of technologies that will either convert pollutants, atmospheric pollutants, to useful or less harmful gases to the atmosphere and many others. So it's just an idea, and also the effect of global warming. We have diseases. So now there are diseases that are coming out. There are locusts, all these are coming in with diseases that before did not exist. So the increase variation in temperatures and other climatic conditions has enabled uh, the proliferation of new diseases. And when new diseases come, it takes a time for it to be detected and to actually produce a treatment for it. And within that time, people can be dying and all the like. So uh, we have also bushfires. So because of excessive temperatures, uh, you hear of bushfire in Australia, bushfire in Spain, Portugal, in the US, and all this, it only contributes to reducing the forest that we already have. The trees that we already have are burned down, and it takes another time, many years, for this tree to grow up and to start playing again its role that it has in the ecosystem. And not only are the trees destroyed, also the ecosystem is destabilized because man also live in some of the product and services that the forest provides, such as shelter for some cases, food for some cases, and then tourism and all that. So if this, because of global warming, this creates wildfire and the forest is brought down, it can create a challenge to the community and a nation at large. So how then can we participate to reverse this strength at the different level of the society? Like I said, each and every one of us have a role to play in this. It is not a one person thing. It is not the rich people's thing. It is not the Western thing. It is not the African thing. It is a global thing. And everybody at all level of the society have a role to play. If you are an engineer, you need to think of an engineering solution that can bring in environmentally friendly technology